Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, broadcasting nationwide. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486 with your question, comment, or range report. Or email Tom at GUNTALK.com. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
Oh, so glad you could be with us. Tom Gresham here. Our number's, well, it's really easy. Just dial 1 and then Tom. That's me. Tom Talk Gun. Because that's what we do. We talk about guns here. Or you can just dial 866-825-5486, whichever floats your boat, whatever makes sense to you. I'm Tom Gresham, by the way. You can check us out at GUNTALK.com over on YouTube. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. Check it out. It's YouTube/GunTalk TV. Get you there. We are giving away stuff. If you go to guntalk.com/win, you can enter for a chance to win a Springfield Armory XD Mod 2 pistol in either 9 or 45. Very cool. So that's guntalk.com/win, WIN. And of course, we have the Gun Talk gun. We've only done one of these, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. We did a 1911 in 10 millimeter. Did a limited run of those, and so we're doing another one. This is to commemorate 20 years on the air for Gun Talk Radio. We call it the GT20, and it's a SIG P220, wonderful pistol in 10 millimeter. You can, I don't have to tell you all the details. It's go look at it. It's once you see it, you're going to go, yes, yeah, I know, yeah, it's that good. It's gorgeous. Go to Dury's Guns, DURYS, DurysGuns.com. I take no responsibility for impacts on your bank account when you see it because you're going to want it. Everybody does. And if you were to put your hands on it, you'd want it even more. You got to trust me on that one. It's just that good. Just got an email a second ago from the Americans for Responsible Solutions. That's one of the Bloomberg, gun control groups, of course. But of course, they don't say gun control anymore. They learned. They actually put out an official paper. They said, don't say gun control. People don't like gun control. People don't want gun control. Say gun safety. We're now the gun safety people. Now, they don't teach gun safety. They don't teach any gun safety classes. They don't teach gun safety. They don't teach gun handling, safe storage. They don't teach anything about gun safety. They're gun control. They're gun ban people. But here's the deal. Their newest deal, I will say this. They're actually pretty smart. Got to give them credit. Let's see. The little poster says, like buckling up, it shows a seatbelt. Gun safety is a common sense idea. So they equate gun control with buckling your seatbelt. Gun safety is a common sense idea. Well, most of us would be in favor of gun safety. You like that? Nice move. Most of us believe that buckling up is a good move. Most of us think that we are common sense kind of people, so they've got you on board already. They've got buckling up, gun safety, common sense, and then it says, help prevent domestic violence homicides. Well, who wouldn't want to help prevent domestic violence homicides? The only problem is what they're pushing is a whole series of laws aimed at people who have domestic violence convictions, which, by the way, if you have one, it's already against the law for you to own a gun. Really? How can we take the guns away from somebody who's already prohibited from owning a gun? Oh, details. Oh, well, then maybe that's not what it's actually about. What it's actually about is saying, oh, no. If someone simply accuses you of domestic violence, they take your guns away. Forget due process. No, this is just so important that domestic violence is a big deal. Look, they're smart. They piggyback on all the media attention. This is spinning off the NFL cases and all the media attention. and everybody is all on board of stopping, slowing down, reducing domestic violence, which is a good, worthwhile thing to be doing. And then they tack their gun control, their gun ban issues to this. It's clever. And they say, help prevent domestic violence homicides, crack down on gun traffickers, expand background checks to keep guns out of the wrong hands. How lovely. Except that, of course, it doesn't keep guns out of the wrong hands. Bad guys get guns. That's why good guys and good gals need guns. Bad guys don't obey the law. That's kind of a definition of a bad guy, criminal. So they're going to have their guns, and they're going to have their knives, and they're going to have their bats, and they're going to have their tire irons, and they're going to have whatever they need to rob you, to rape you, to kill you. And make no mistake, some of them just want to kill you. It's not a matter of give them what they want, give them the money. Money's not what they want. It's like, I saw a great T-shirt. The guy says, you can't coexist with someone who wants to kill you. ISIS being a case in point. Radical Islam, case in point. Their goal is to kill you, to kill every person who doesn't believe as they do. Where's the compromise position? It's not like an army that wants to expand and gain land. They don't want to take over a country. Their goal is to kill everyone who doesn't believe the way they do. That is the goal. So if you can't make peace with the fact that there are people who want to kill you, you can't really very well prepare for all of this. So we go back to the Americans for Responsible Solutions. So what they want is to crack down on domestic violence by taking guns away from people who've simply been accused of a crime. They want to crack down on gun traffickers. Now, understand it's already illegal to do a straw purchase. So the things that they're saying are their goals. Understand, we have goals and then we have the actual actions. The things they're saying are their goals are already done. They're already illegal. That's the goal. People don't understand because they say it in such a way that, gun trafficking must be legal, so we have to pass a law. No, it's already against the law. But what they want to do is have more restrictions on you. And that's what they do. And as I say, they're clever. They position it in such a way that you'd go, wow, gun safety, I like that. Common sense, I like that. Buckling up, I like that. Prevent domestic violence, I like that. I'll sign on. I'll send you $5 or $10 or $20. Sure, why wouldn't I? Except that if you go actually read what they're pushing, it's gun control and gun bans. Simple as that. Just got an email from David out of Cincinnati. He says, while driving to the range this past week, I thought of something I'd like to hear some conversation about. I shoot an M&P 9mm, and I can hit a paper plate from 7 yards all the time. But what can I do to tighten up my groups when shooting? What should I be thinking about and working on when at the range? I'd enjoy hearing someone address this train of thought as it works into your show schedule. Basically, how do I shoot tighter groups? Well, getting some instruction is not a bad thing, but basically, don't be satisfied with what you have. Put a small dot, a dime size or nickel size dot. That's your aiming target. Aim small, miss small. Put all your shots on that. Concentrate. The focus, and here's going to be the weird part, the focus has to be on the front sight. Let the target blur out. How can I shoot the target if it's blurry? Trust me. Let the target blur. Let the rear sight blur. Make the front sight sharp. And then after that, it's trigger control, trigger control, trigger control. Best way to work on trigger control that I know of is what they call the ball and dummy drill, where you're in your magazine, you load a combination of live rounds and dummy rounds, and you start shooting. And when you get to the dummy round, it won't go bang, it will go click. And when it goes click, you will find that you have moved the barrel of the gun and it's no longer pointing where you wanted it to be. And frankly, what that means is you're pulling the trigger, you're yanking the trigger, you're jerking the trigger, whatever you want to call it. And after 2 or 3 times of shooting on a dummy round, it goes click and you jerk the trigger. Next time you don't want to look foolish. So you're going to have real smooth, precise trigger pulls to prevent you from looking dumb when you jerk the trigger like that. And you're going to find that your groups are going to shrink incredibly when you do that. Focus on the front sight, work on your trigger pull. That by itself is a great start for becoming a better shooter. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
The world can be a dangerous place. Gear up with the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Equipping your firearm with laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com and receive a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with 1 shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
All right, back with you. Okay, there you see this stuff. I was on a website, and the guy was writing about the new 10mm from SIG, and we got the GT10, of course, as one of the variations of that. I labeled this the quote of the day. He's talking about the Glock 19. He says, if a G19 is sweet and smooth like your lady on your anniversary, the 10mm is a drunken bar girl after doing body shots. So there you go. 10mm are fun. Come on. I mean, get serious. 10mm are powerful and just cool, and you can shoot pigs with them, and you can hunt deer with them. And you know what's cool about 10mm? Is your buddy doesn't have one. That's how we roll, isn't it? Now, you don't have one of these, do you? Oh, okay, cool. It makes it good. Oh, there you go. Oh, Lordy. Tommy's in Flippin, Arkansas on line 1. Hey, Tommy, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. Okay, we'll go to Brian in Memphis. He's on line 1. Hey, Brian.
Hello, Mr. Gresham. How you doing?
I'm good.
Well, I just happened to acquire one of the everybody wants one Ruger 44 Magnum carbines.
How did you find one?
Well, I made a great deal with a buddy of mine I play golf with, and I managed to acquire a Glock 10mm full size, which is a 20, and in addition to that, a Ruger 44 Magnum carbine, and made an even swap. Holy cow!
You made off like a bandit.
Well, yes, I almost think that I shouldn't be talking about it, but I made a great deal, and I took the Ruger out, and at 50 yards, and it also had an old Weaver 2.5 power the old steel, because the gun was actually, I think it was made in 76, but the gun looks like it was brand new. And at 50 yards, it was, and I'd say it's probably a 2-inch gun at 50 yards.
Sounds about right, yeah.
You know, but it's so damn sweet. I cannot imagine why Ruger doesn't reintroduce it.
You know, it's so weird. We have had so many people ask that. And I've asked Ruger, I said, are you going to do that? They said, we get a lot of requests for that, and then they won't go any further than that. There must be a reason that they're not doing that. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be a reason they're not doing it.
Yeah, and that gun would be great in 357 Magnum also. I mean,
yes, it would.
It just, I mean, you get so much out of a 357 Magnum out of a longer barrel. You get more of a gain out of it than pretty much any other cartridge that I know of.
Let me ask you a question. How would you feel about that rifle in a 10 millimeter?
Oh, it'd be awesome. I love 10 millimeter. Like I said, I traded both those guns for a crossbow, and the crossbow was a high end crossbow. It was a 10-point Pro Elite crossbow, so it was a very expensive crossbow. But a 10 millimeter, I already owned a Glock 20 in 10 millimeter, and that's usually what I carry. Which is, I know for a lot of people might say, that's kind of a big honking gun, and yes, it is.
It is.
But I also put 2-round extenders from Pierce. So I've got 18 rounds of 10 millimeter. And by the way, I did order some double tap ammo, and I did use your promo code and got.
Oh, good.
So about 50 rounds of 155 grain 10 millimeter ammo. And they're going 1,400 feet per
Brian,
second.
Listen, Brian, listen, I hate to do it, but I've got them stacked up. I've got to keep moving. I appreciate your report on getting the 44 mag. You scored huge on that one. And yeah, for the 10 millimeter, I'm reminded of Clint Smith. He says, yes, it's a big gun when you carry it, but it's also a big gun when you have to pull it out. So something to think about. William is on, let's see, do we still have William on 3, guys? Yes, I think we do. William on line 3 out of California. Hey, William.
Howdy. Hi, I've got a question for you. I'm a parent of young children, and I read all around. I talk to folks, and I'm curious your thoughts on Nerf guns, the little dart guns that are foam, and kids. Is that good? Is it bad? Does it potentially prepare them for bad habits if they're not practicing the four cardinal rules?
Anybody who's ever used cap guns ends up being a murderer, of course. So I don't think it's a big deal. And people get all wrapped around the axle about that stuff. I don't think it's an issue. I don't have a problem with it. We had cap guns and we played cowboys and Indians or cops and robbers or whomever it was, British and Americans. It's a case of parental control. If you raise them right, they'll know the difference. If you don't, nothing you can do is going to fix it.
All right.
Appreciate it, Wayne. Appreciate the call. All right. Justin, line 2 out of Florida. Justin, you're up.
Why do you think Springfield did a Mod 2 of the XD and not the XDM?
It's funny you asked that because I wondered the same thing, and I don't know, frankly. But I will tell you this. When you pick up the Mod 2 of the XD, it feels very XDM-ish. It has a good feel to it. The ergonomics are good. And it's funny, we were having this conversation in the office about 3 days ago, and Ryan said, we've been using the XDMs for years, and said, I shot the XD, and I went, wow, that's really a nice gun. I said, well, yeah, that's why everybody loves the XDs. So I think there are enough people who like the XD they kind of, with the Mod 2, brought it to the latest level of ergonomics and kind of tweaked it up a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm an XD person myself, but the uniformity of magazines, it just kind of seems like at some point they would go uniform, kind of like Glock has, or has always been.
Wouldn't be surprised if they try to find a pathway to that at some point. But, that may be the answer to your questions. Maybe they said, look, let's kind of modernize the XD platform where you can still use your XD mags.
Yeah.
No, could be. All right, Justin, appreciate the call. Tom, Toledo, Ohio, line 4. Tom, you're up, asking about 223 ammo?
Yes, sir. Recently I saw a ballistics chart online, and it surprised me that they showed the 223 was both faster, it hit harder, and it had less drop, I think, at like 200 yards. And I was wondering why the military doesn't use that instead of the 5.56. Why it could be
simple is because the ballistic chart you looked at was wrong. I mean, it's just a real simple answer. Yeah, there's no difference between the two, none. Ballistically, there's just no difference. If you're looking at a chart that says the same bullet weight has different velocities, there's hardly any difference in velocity, not enough to make any difference. Now, if you're looking at a 50 grain bullet versus a 55 or a 50 versus a 60 or 72 or 77 or whatever, that's a whole different deal. But no, there's probably be more variation from shot to shot or across a 10-shot string than there would be going from 223 to 5.56 and back. So I'm not sure what chart you were looking at, but choose your sources carefully. That's, now, if anything, look at a bunch of them. If anything, I would have thought if you looked it up, you would have found the 5.56 to be just a smidge hotter, just a little bit faster. But again, it all depends on the loads and where you're looking. So I wouldn't worry about it. People say, well, what do you use in your gun? I use them interchangeably. Yes, I know. You're supposed to not use one and the other. I use them interchangeably. Okay? I just do. Don't do as I do as I say. But if you say, what do you do, Tom? I just grab 223 ammo and shove it in mags, whether it's 5.56 or 223. It all cycles. It all shoots. It goes bang, and that's my goal, is to shoot lots of it in a hurry and have a good time at the
Tom
range.
Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Hey, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. It is so much fun. It's weird after a while, getting older. And you have friends in the business, and your parents had friends in the gun business, and now you have friends who are the ages of your children, and that's weird too. But talk about your families that are involved in guns. Wow, what a family. Jim Clark Jr., Jerry Miculek, Kay Clark, and now comes the latest, and who knows, maybe even the greatest. We're joined right now by Lena Miculek from Team Smith & Wesson. Hello, Lena, how are you?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
I am great. I mean, you come from a great line of shooters for Jim Clark Jr., your mom, your dad. I mean, you had no choice in this. You just did. You were going to be a shooter.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. I did fight it for quite a while. So
did you really?
I had a choice.
So why did you fight it? What was that all about?
Well, when I was younger, I've been traveling in matches since I was about 3 months old. So, I've been around the sport forever. And as I started getting older, mainly around 10 years old, I had a bunch of really, for some reason, people felt the need to come up to 10-year-old me and tell me about all the pressure that must be on me and the shoes I had to fill and how it must just be overwhelming. And like all the time, pretty much every single match I went to. So as being younger, I was, exactly. It was like, oh, well, I didn't have any pressure on me until you told me I was supposed to. So younger me was not able to handle that, as most probably 10-year-olds would not take that too well. So I really, I pushed against it. I was not a fan of the shooting sports until I turned about 16. I left the shooting world completely, decided I was going to see what normal people did, and I learned that I didn't like what normal people did. It was really boring.
I don't want to be normal. I want to be a shooter.
Exactly. I didn't want to, just stay in high school and go to college and, I don't know, have what other people had. I wanted to shoot. So I got serious, and that's when I started shooting 3-guns.
All right. I mean, and you're just tearing up the 3-gun circuit. We got a chance to get together with you over at the first ever the National Ladies 3-Gun in Atlanta last year. We'll be doing that show on GUNTALK TV soon. Tons of fun. You're shooting all over the place. Are you now what is known as a professional shooter?
I would think so. This is all that I do. This is my job. I made a big decision when college came up, whether or not I was going to do that or focus on my career. And I had seen too many good shooters when college came around go and get a degree that they really didn't want just because they were supposed to have one, and then come back to the shooting world 4 years later and there was not a place for them. So I decided to skip that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a 3-gunner. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's, I think out of last year, out of like the 22 matches I shot, I maybe shot one gun only match.
Okay.
So,
now,
3-gun
for those who don't know, when you go to a 3-gun match, are you shooting against the men? Are you shooting just against the women? How does it work these days?
Both. There's combined. So that's, I shoot in the division TAC Ops. So at the majority of 3-gun matches, they do not have a women's only prize table. And when I say at most, I mean there's probably only 2 or 3 out of all the matches I shoot a year that might have it, which I do appreciate those matches that have it. But usually it's heads up against the men. So
you end up do you shoot against your dad?
No, he shoots open. So
okay. That harmony in the family that way.
But just to throw this out there, I have beat him legitimately on some stages before, shooting against his open equipment with my TAC Ops equipment. I have to bring that up whenever I can. It's like my little highlight.
I would think so.
I gotta throw it in. I think it's only happened probably 3 times, but you gotta take the high points in your career.
Tell me about this dog you have with this very long nose.
It's not quite a dog. That's the thing. No. I think that people don't quite understand. It's a toucan. Her name is Ripley.
Toucan.
A toucan. Yeah, a choco toucan to be specific. Yeah.
Okay.
My husband had a pet toucan before, a much smaller one, a different breed, and he thought it was a really awesome pet. So when we got married a couple of years later, or a year later, he decided that it was time to look into getting another one. And she is pretty fun, I have to say. I'm pretty glad that we got her. She's unique. I will give her that.
That's it. A toucan is a unique pet. Tell you what, hold on a second here, Lena. I want to take a quick break and come back. Let's talk a little about guns for 3-gun and what you're up to. Lena Miculek, quickly becoming a top 3-gun shooter in the country. And I tell you, this is a lot of fun to watch. It is really something. 866-TALK-GUN. Yes, I know, guys, you just sighed when she said my husband. Get over it. There you go. 866-TALK-GUN. If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Battle Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to TimneyTriggers.com. That's TIMNEY Triggers.com.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham. We're talking with Lena Miculek during the break here. I was on your Facebook page, so you're looking at the fun videos you have there of shooting various stages. You're tearing them up. How are you doing this year so far?
Well, this year we've only had one match, which was actually going really, really well for me. I was super happy. It was a shotgun-only match. I had one stage win, and I think 4 or 5 top 10 placements in the stages, so I was really happy. I did have, of course, as a 3-gunner, we can't just accept the good running guns that we have. We have to push them and cut away at them and try everything we can to make them to where they don't work. You have to do that. So I had been doing that in the winter break on my shotgun, and it kind of got me on one stage. My shell catch kind of fell off the bottom of my gun, so wasn't quite able.
You know
to
what you do is you speed them up and you lighten them up until they don't work, and then okay, that's a little bit too far. Now you got to come back a little bit to become reliable again, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. But I started quad loading, so that means I take 4 shells out of my hand. It's like twin loading, but quad loading. Can't really describe it, but to do that, you usually have to take away a lot of the receiver of your shotgun. So I did that. I have a tendency to get a little carried away. It was very easy to load, though. The shells just happened to not stay in the gun.
Yeah, you can load them, and then it spits them back out on the ground.
Exactly. But even with that, I got, I think, 90 seconds of penalties. But with that, I was still able to win High Lady and be in the top 30 overall. So all in all, it wasn't terrible.
All right, talk to me for just a minute about, first of all, let's get in the plug for Smith & Wesson. You're on Team Smith & Wesson. What does the team do, and what do you have to do for that? Are you involved in product development as well?
I am not. Smith & Wesson, the matches that the majority of the team members go to are IDPA and things like that. I have never shot an IDPA match. I kind of jumped into 3-gun and decided I didn't really want to go anywhere else. So the majority of their shooters, and when they go around the factory and do product placement and talk about it and things like that, is during like the Indoor Nationals or the Bug Gun Nationals. But I don't go to either of those. So.
All right. Now, let me ask you this. I'm seeing, obviously you were at the Brownells Lady 3-Gun in Atlanta. Are we seeing more and more women who just, for at least to me, it seems like they're just popping up everywhere wanting to get into 3-gun. What are you seeing?
Well, it's not that the women haven't always been there. It's just that the market has never been looking out to really try and approach women. Women don't want to just go out to the range by themselves and hang out with a bunch of guys that they've never met, doing something that they're most likely not the most confident with, shooting, and shooting in front of people. So all that we've had to do is really make a place for them, make it where if a woman actually wins, she gets recognition. When I started shooting 3-guns, women weren't even recognized at quite a few of the matches. If you won High Lady or anything, it didn't matter. They wouldn't even announce it. So it's kind of it wasn't very encouraging, especially to people that could not place in at least the top 20. It was not very encouraging at all, because by the time I got to you at the prize table, it wasn't that great. Plus, you didn't really get a title of any kind. But they're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Because three-gun, I think, is kind of new. Everyone's very receptive, and they just want to grow the sport. So everyone's been super great working, trying to get more women into the sport, and they're ready.
Would it be fair to say, and I've seen this at various matches, if you are interested in getting into three-gun, or actually almost any shooting competition, if you just show up, there are going to be people who are going to help you out, because it's my impression that shooters like to invite other shooters into their sport.
Yes, absolutely. That's my advice always when people tell me, Lena, how do I get into the sport? Like, where do I start? I always tell them just to go to the nearest range that has maybe a local three-gun, or if you can get to a bigger one, and just watch and talk to people. Everyone's absolutely willing to help. So just go and ask any questions that you have and start from there.
Okay, if people want to follow you, you've got your Facebook page. It's, for those who are wanting to know, it's Lena Miculek, LenaMiculek. How else can they track? Is that the best way for people to keep up with what you're doing?
Yes, it is. We do have the Team Miculek YouTube channel that I will start doing more on, hopefully this year. But as of now,
okay.
Facebook is the best way to follow me or ask questions about gear that I have or anything like that.
Sounds great. So what's your plan for this year? Just to beat everybody?
I like that plan. I feel like that's a pretty good plan.
That one? Go with that one. That's right. Quick question. How much do you shoot in a given month when you're training?
Ooh. That is so hard. I've been asked that question probably more than any other question, and the bad thing is I don't really have an answer for it.
Is it once a week? Is it every day?
It's as much as I can, and that varies from maybe only once a month when the season hits hard and we're gone. We're shooting on our schedule. We have 28 matches. I don't know how it's humanly possible for us to go to all those, but they're there, and we're planning to go to them. So that doesn't leave much room for practice. The winter, the November, December, and January are when we really get in all of our yearly practice. So it's been probably 3 to 4 times a week, as much as I feel. When you go to practice, there's a point where you're not really learning anymore. You're just out there pulling the trigger. Sometimes that comes quicker than others, so I really can't give a round count. I don't go out saying, I'm going to shoot 500 rounds today. Because
as much as you're competing, if you're doing 28 matches, and each of those is, 1 or 2 or sometimes even 3 days, that's just not only a lot of shooting, that's a lot of travel. You don't have any time for anything else. Listen, I'm going to have to bail out on you here, but I wanted to thank you so much for joining us. Lena Miculek, I'm telling you, not just a rising star, currently a star in the three-gun world and in the shooting world altogether. It's a pleasure to know you. As you know, known your family forever, and you're just the latest of a great family.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sean, for having me on and for having such respect for what we do in the sport and just the gun industry.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for spending time. We'll check in with you a little bit later in the season.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Yes, I knew Lena's grandfather, Jim Clark, master pistolsmith, and obviously Jim Clark Jr., and then Kay Clark, who is her mother. And in case you haven't quite figured it out yet, Jerry Miculek is her dad. So there you go. That's interesting that she did a pushback and said, no, I don't want to do this, and then kind of returned to it. That seems fairly natural at age 10 to do that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. And by the way, don't forget, we're going to do the after show today. So if you call in, we can either get you in on the show or the after show or sometime, guarantee you. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
Oh, yeah, we're going to carry some calls over into the after show because we can give you a little bit more time there and kind of work on some details. If you've not participated in or partaken of the after show, I would sure encourage you to do that. You could go to GUNTALK.com and click on listen, and you can find the after show that way. If you, of course, are subscribing via iTunes or one of the others, you're probably already getting it. If you've not heard it, I think you'll like it. Let's see. I want to drop down line 2. Ray is with us out of Savannah, Georgia. Hey, Ray.
How's it going?
Hey, it's great. Looking for a safe? What do you got?
I am. Remember you talking about the Liberty safes last year? I think you had a promo on those or something like that. So I was on the website. I still remember what the name of it was.
Well, if you go on the website and you click on the Fat Boy safe, and you can enter my name, Tom, and you can get up to a $250 discount on their safes.
All right, cool. And then my other thing about this safe was placement in my house. My wife's got one plan, I got another, and I'm sure you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put that upstairs. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I want to put that upstairs. She wants to put it in the garage. Reasons I don't want to put it in the garage, you got the theft consideration, then you've got the humidity that you get here in Southeast. About that too. And then lugging 500-ish, maybe a little more pounds upstairs to detract her from the other, from my option.
Right, I understand. And getting it upstairs, that's a job for professionals, and they know how to get a safe upstairs. When you order something like a Liberty safe, you can have it installed, and they'll bring it upstairs for you. I understand what you're saying about the garage. Humidity is definitely an issue. You can put a goldenrod in there, and you put not silica gel, but what do they call it? Vapor barrier chips. You can get those from Brownells in there. But frankly, if you're going to keep a gun in a safe in a garage, you need to take all the guns out about every 3 months and wipe them down with a good rust preventative gun oil. The one issue you didn't mention, I want to just touch on here. Don't place a safe somewhere thinking this is where I'm going to go to get my gun if I need it for self-defense. A gun you need for self-defense should not be in your gun safe. What did you say? I said the gun you need or think you're going to go to for self-defense should not be in your gun safe. A gun that you need for self-defense you should be able to get in 5 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. That's it. The gun you need for self-defense does not need to be in your safe unless you're keeping the door of the safe open and the safe is in your bedroom. Therefore, what I'm saying is you keep your guns, you store them in safes, but that's not where the accessibility is. If you need a gun for self-defense in your home, you need it right now. Not right freaking now. Figure out a different system. And maybe one of those pop-open gun safe, that go little boxes that go on the nightstand. Those are good. They're secure. They're fast. But not a safe you got to get up, run across the room, or go downstairs and get a gun out. That's not it. That's just not the way to go. If you have a question about that, call me. If you disagree, by all means, call me. We'll talk about it right now. 866-TALK-GUN. In the meantime, this week, go out and do a little shooting. Invite a friend to go with you. Try something you haven't done before. If you're not a wing shooter, try that. By all means, sign up for some instruction. Get some lessons in shooting. You want to be a better shooter? Take some lessons. That's the secret. And by all means, be safe. Watch that muzzle and watch the people around you.